What's happening now? We're about to send you back to the future!
Hello and welcome to another episode of Back to the Future, the show in which we take a classic film that one of us, or both of us, might not have seen before, and we take a look at it now. I'm Drew Bridger.
I'm Amber Inch.
And to give you an update on the ongoing saga of whether or not we're going to die while making one of these episodes. As you can probably hear in the background, our little fan has joined us for the third episode in a row now. If you listen closely, you can hear him. Woo! It's a little fan. I'm going to keep making that joke until someone...
No,
here's the thing. I feel like I have to keep making the joke until someone tells me to stop.
I'm the person that's telling you to stop.
Okay, well, that's alright then. Alright, well.
No, if you don't listen, you'll do it again anyway.
Well, I might do it again at the end of the episode to sandwich it, you know?
Yeah.
Because you've got to sandwich the joke, you know? Make sure that people have heard.
Everyone heard.
So it is getting cooler now, isn't it? It's starting to...
Yeah, it is.
The big round hot boy in the sky is starting to calm down a little bit now.
Yeah, it's kind of cooler. It's just muggy now because it's wet.
We had rain for the first time in ages, so it's finally rained now.
I don't like it.
You don't... You're not a fan of anything that's really happening in the outside world at the moment, are you?
I didn't mind the weather. I didn't mind the warm. I liked sitting outside when it was hot.
Yeah. And then we sat outside for like a minute too long. We're like sweaty now. Go inside.
I know, but it's nice. It's still nice. It's nice to look at though, isn't it? I don't like this when you look out and it's grey and dark at 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
Well, no, I mean, we're not quite at that stage
Yeah,
yet.
we were today. It was raining.
Oh, yeah, it was dark because it was raining.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah. But it is still a little bit on the warm side. It's quite overbearing at the moment. It's like it's gone on for ages now.
I don't think it's too bad now.
But where we sit gets quite warm pretty easily to record these in, so... We're having a fan go for a little while longer so that we don't pass out mid-episode. Although I don't know, it might be getting to the point where we have to do that for content. I don't know.
That's a bit sad.
I'm not saying that we've reached our peak as far as episodes go. I'm not saying that we've reached the peak. What I am saying, though, is that we might have to start stretching for content at some point.
Right.
When we reach that point... I don't know. I'm just saying one of us might have to pass out mid-episode in order to generate some content.
I don't know that a visual gag is very rewarding on a podcast, though, to be honest.
No. But I feel like the sound effect of it might have...
What sound effect?
The distinct sound effect of me falling onto the floor.
You wouldn't fall, though, because you're sitting in a chair.
I don't know. Maybe I can fall in a way that I take the chair with me. And
maybe.
We are headed back in our way back machine this episode to a year that we have well established at this point in the podcast as being maybe one of the better years for things to have come out of it. I mean, we're talking the year that RoboCop came out. We're talking the year that Predator came out. We're talking the year that I came out.
Oh, disgusting.
Thank you for stopping me there. That could have gone one of a few different ways. We're going back to 1987, and we are looking at Raising Arizona, which is a film that I've heard so many things about. Yes. Yes, I actually have.
Where from?
Well, I've heard it on many different fronts. So I've heard about this film as being one of Nicolas Cage's better moments in his early acting career. Maybe not his highlight of what he's been known for. I would say the most well-known thing that he's known for is obviously being Ghost Rider I mean,
No.
yeah. There wasn't a single person that didn't like that film, you know?
Ghost Rider.
Yeah!
Oh yeah, that are you being sarcastic?
Yes, I am. Yes, I am. I'm glad that you caught that.
I kind of did.
I mean, it was so good that it got a sequel, Amber. So, I mean, that's
true,
how good
though.
Ghost
That's why
Rider
I'm
was.
Confused.
Yeah, I know. I was being a little bit sarcastic there. But, I mean, in fairness to him, Nicolas Cage is such a big Ghost Rider fan. He actually has a Ghost Rider tattoo, and he had that before he played Ghost Rider.
Oh, great.
So it's like, yeah, you obviously ended up playing a role that you were pretty desperate to play at that point.
Yeah, that's fine for him. But what else? What are all the other? What?
You didn't want to finish that thought there, did you?
Press 1 for English. I.
You lost the thought. The sheer presence of Nicolas Cage in your mind made you lose complete track of your thought.
He winds me up.
Oh, okay. That's where you were going with that thought process
wasn't.
of the tattoo.
He just winds me up because he just makes it doesn't matter what character he's playing. He just makes it the same character. He just makes it whatever. Like, it's just ridiculous. It's just stupid. Don't you think it's stupid?
I mean, not really.
Ghost Rider's basically this guy, really.
I think that he's. I don't think I would agree with that. I don't think I would agree.
Yeah,
with
he just.
That.
Plays,
I think he just
plays everything the same every time.
I think
time.
he's a.
There's no distinction between what character's what because he just goes full throttle into shouting about everything for no reason.
I thought he played this film very calm and collected. I thought this was actually a film where he was very, let's say, subdued in comparison to some of his other wilder ones.
But that's because he was beaten down. He was actually, like, weird.
I think he actually had kind of comedy timing in this film. Like, he had his reactions to things in this, I felt, were very, like, comedically on the point of, you know, his timings of things. I thought that, you know, for a lot of this film, I kind of felt like, what do I want to say?
Yeah, exactly. What you...
He was able to get a lot of feeling of what he was going through across without having to do a lot, I guess, is where I was going with that. Like, there are certain points where it's just, he doesn't really have to say a whole lot, but you know what's going on with him.
Yeah, I suppose. I don't know. Yeah, this wasn't too bad. This wasn't as bad as he is normally. Obviously, this was early on enough that he hadn't decided that he was going to be just shouting 24/7.
Yeah, it's
because
early.
Now, if you watch him in a film now, everything's like 100 miles an hour at volume up to 11.
Chewing the scenery.
Literally, yes.
But here's the thing. I think that Nick Cage, like, once or twice early on in his career, got a bit of a reaction from him having
that is what happened.
Really gone the whole hog and gone a little bit wild and chewed a bit of scenery.
Yeah.
And he went, oh man.
Nobody stopped him.
I got this well,
and
actually,
so now
what
he just pushes it a little bit further and further and further each time because nobody said, "Oh, don't do that."
Do you not think that you need to
they give him a bit of leeway, and he just took it.
Nick, you're all the way up here
Yeah.
at like 11. I need you to dial it down to like a 6 for me.
Yeah, can you imagine somebody actually saying that to him though?
I
That would
think,
just make him worse.
Yeah, bro, he'd probably come back the next time and be like even more.
Now I'm 15.
Yeah. I think the one that really did it, the one that everyone kind of noticed and realised his cageisms, shall we say, was in the remake of The Wicker Man.
Oh.
And because that was such a bad film, people kind of latched onto it as his reactions in that. being so outlandishly big that I think because people latched onto that, he decided to go, oh, okay, people really respond to this.
Yeah.
So I'll do more of this.
Yeah, but what the heck? Like, he's made it his whole I mean, I don't want to say he's made it his whole personality now, because actually I think this is his personality and he's just bringing it out into his acting now. I don't think it's the other way round. I think it's that way round. I think he was always like how he is now. It's just that he's been comfortable enough and proven enough that he can do it whenever he wants now, and no one's going to tell him no, because he's so accomplished now.
He's
So it's
always
just
got
like,
it in his
right,
back
I'm going to
pocket.
let myself go now,
Yeah.
all day, every day, because that's what I want to do. That's the person I am. No one's going to tell me to stop because I'm Nicolas Cage now. And like, people kind of started laughing at it a little bit, making memes out of it. And I don't know whether he even realised at the start that people were taking the mickey. I think he probably just thought, oh yeah, this is different. This is out there. Like, people really respected him for it. That's not what was going on though.
I like that you kind of have this idea that he's always got this side of his personality, like, just below the surface.
I think that's just him, though. I think that's just him. That's how he is. Even in interviews, he's absolutely mental. It's like...
But again, and I think, and I'm guilty of this. I'm not going to say that I'm not guilty of this, all right? Because I absolutely am. But I do think that part of the reason that he has this side of him and that people latch onto that is because it is a little bit like, oh my god, he's larger than life. What's he gonna do next?
Yeah, I know.
And that's why
But
I
that's
am
not
so
good, though, is it?
interested.
That's weird. That's
I
like
mean,
volatile.
I don't know.
I'm not saying he's a horrible person. I don't know. He probably isn't. I'm not saying there's anything like actually wrong with him.
No.
But it's just too much.
See, this is the thing. I think you're right. Okay? And I think that also what you just said about him not being like a horrible person about it, I think that's also true. I think that I get the impression that he is this kind of wild personality, and he then decides to channel that into his acting. I heard somewhere...
For no reason, though.
I heard
and he's
somewhere
getting
that, yeah...
worse. He's doing it on purpose worse.
I heard somewhere, and I don't know how much validity there is to this, because it sounds like the kind of thing that would have been started by internet rumours about him, but is actually on the side of being believable, that actually people have gone, oh, did you know this about Nicolas Cage? I heard he has a personal tarot reader.
That's probably true.
Right? That comes around and basically, like, reads his tarot every so often and helps him decide what roles and what and everything to go for next. And he basically says yes to pretty much every film offer that comes through, because he will either then go and get a tarot reading on which ones to follow up on, or he will go, he'll have already had the tarot reading that is basically saying, say you're going to have a job come through, you need to say yes to it.
Right.
So that's kind of why he says
kind of
yes
do
to
believe
so
that,
many things.
Because there are a lot of people who have their own personal, you know, whatever's, personal tarot person, personal, like, psychic,
Yeah.
you know, that type of thing.
Yeah.
Personal crystal healer.
Right.
They have loads of things like that. So I would believe that is true. I don't know about saying yes to everything until they say yes or not. I don't know. I mean, but yeah, probably.
But I don't know how much validity there is to that.
I would probably say yes, that's true.
But
I mean, the guy talks about shortbread a lot.
I came dressed as a can of shortbread. I have a can of
Why did he say
shortbread.
shortbread so much?
Say shortbread more.
It's like because he just learnt the word for it today.
I think we need to start providing links to these on our social medias when these episodes come
I'm
out.
sure
so
everybody
that-
knows what we're talking about.
He was at a film premiere once and he looked like a can of shortbread and
No, he
was
didn't
going
look
on
like a can of shortbread. He was just wearing a tartan suit. I don't get why he's looking like a can of
and
shortbread.
just started going on about eating shortbread while he was in the UK. Oh, I love shortbread. Every time I'm in the United Kingdom, I go and get myself a can of shortbread.
Obviously, we can take one thing away that Nicolas Cage isn't lactose intolerant because you can't have a whole can of shortbread if you are.
Definitely can't. No, we learned that the hard way, didn't we?
No.
So, as we do every episode, we get the person that hasn't seen the film to give a rundown of what they thought the film was going to be about before having watched the film. Say film more, Drew. Shortbread. Thanks for popping in, Nick.
Oh no.
It's like he was actually here.
Oh,
I mean,
was
he actually
it?
was. Yeah. I mean, he's gone now. You don't look for him. He's vanished back into the furniture. It's okay. So we both haven't seen this film before, and I was not surprised that you hadn't seen this film because it's Nick Cage and it's the Coen brothers, which put
Oh,
together
I didn't know that.
isn't your go-to style
What else
of
did
film.
they do again?
Well, it's funny that you ask, Amber. It's funny that you ask because this is not the first appearance of the Coen brothers on this podcast.
No.
No. Would you like to take a stab at what other film we've watched that was also by the Coen brothers?
Fight Club.
No. Although
I can't remember then.
although I can see why Fight Club would be out there enough that you would think that. That's actually David Fincher.
Die.
No, it's The Big Lebowski.
Oh, yeah, John Goodman. Here he goes.
Yeah! Second appearance of
Yeah,
John
that makes
Goodman.
sense.
Getting a little bit more John Goodman in our lives.
Yeah.
It's always good to have a bit of the man. See that good. That was terrible.
Yeah,
Don't.
that was bad.
This is why I see. Here's the thing. This is why I make these jokes because every so often I get a bit of positive reinforcement out of you, and I think, oh, this is what the people want. So I'm gradually turning into Nick Cage.
Oh no.
Because every time I have a little bit of
No.
positive reinforcement about doing something kind of bad, I go, oh, this is what the people want.
Did I say that I wanted that though?
Well, I got a little bit of a laugh out of you. I got a little bit of a reaction. I don't know.
I know. I didn't realise what you meant when I laughed though.
Oh, right. Oh, okay. Well, that's good to know. I didn't really know what I was laughing at. I just felt like it was polite to laugh.
Yeah.
Have you ever been in one of those situations where you still don't get the joke, but you just laugh so that the person will stop telling it? This is every episode for me now.
Yeah.
God, what is real? What isn't real? When have you ever genuinely laughed at something I've said? How will I ever know? I'm going to have a crisis of confidence now. So,
Oh, I'm sorry.
I know. I'm going to have an existential crisis live on the podcast, so that's going to be fun for you. You're going to
That'll be something.
get to deal with me having an existential crisis. That's going to be... I mean, hey, it's better content than just passing out, isn't it? So...
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, so I'm just going to sit here and question reality for the next 45 minutes.
Oh,
Hope that's okay.
No.
Right, okay.
How am I supposed to bounce off that?
I love that the concern hasn't come from my fragile state of mind, but instead have you having enough material to bounce off of and come back with. Because if I just sit here and question reality for the next 45
Yeah, what am I
minutes...
supposed to do?
What am I supposed to do? I want that on a t-shirt. That's
am I
what's going to go on
supposed to
our...
do?
That's going to go on our merch. No, I am quite surprised that I haven't seen this film before. The amount that it's been spoken about, and I feel... Here's the thing. And it's no bad thing, but I do feel like if you don't like Coen Brothers movies, you're not the kind of person that's ever really done things like film studies and script writing and things like that, you know, things that I've done previously. And that's not my opinion. That's what I feel like society is saying.
Okay, right, I see what you mean.
You
I was
know?
going to say, what? You're a bit up yourself.
No, but that's
you don't
exactly...
like this film, so you haven't done the right studying.
But that's exactly
And
how...
I have, so I do. These are the intellectuals, film lovers.
But this is the thing! This is the actual thing. This is what I feel like
yeah,
people view the Coen brothers as.
maybe.
And
maybe people are just like, oh, you just don't get it.
right.
But people
right.
that say that also
Yes.
don't. That's what they say, don't they?
I think
they say it to cover themselves.
There are two kinds of people in this world. There are people that get Coen brothers movies, and there are people that just don't.
I think I'm the just don't.
And here's the thing, I do get Coen brothers movies. Like, I can see the comedy side of their films. I've watched Fargo, I've watched The Big Lebowski, I've watched Raising Arizona now, and I have watched these other films that they've done. Burn After Reading, I thought was actually a very good film. I liked Burn After Reading. And I like the funny side of their films. And Fargo, I am tempted to show you at some point, because there's this really weird conspiracy theory surrounding Fargo, right? That actually Fargo was based on a true story. And there's this buried treasure surrounding the story of It's a very, very weird thing. It's not going to get into it like right now, because we'll be here deconstructing it for ages. But there's documentaries made about it, about how people believe that, you know, there's...
I don't even know what it's about.
Yeah, exactly. But I do feel like the Coen brothers' style of comedy isn't like my go-to style of comedy. Like, I'm not going to put a Coen brothers movie on when I feel like having a laugh at something.
No.
You know, when I feel like sitting down and having a really good chuckle at something, I'm not going to watch that.
I didn't laugh at this film.
No, I'm going to watch something like Scott Pilgrim versus the World, because that's one of my all-time favourite films. It happens to be a comedy as well. And I know that I enjoy that sort of level of humour. Now, some people might argue that the absurdist, surrealist kind of humour that's involved in Scott Pilgrim is just an amplified version of the unusual, absurdist, dark humour that's involved in Coen brothers films. To which I would argue back to them, shut up, no one asked you what your opinion is, I'm talking about Scott Pilgrim. Is usually my answer to anyone that says that. Shut up, no one asked your opinion. But neither of us had seen this film before.
No.
Is what I'm getting at. And that's why I'm kind of surprised that I haven't seen this film, because I feel like I should be more into Coen brothers films than I am. Right. So what did you think the film was going to be before watching it?
I didn't really know. I saw that there was a picture of him holding a baby, so I just assumed that because he looked a bit haggard, maybe it was about like a kind of down and out guy who lost his wife or girlfriend or something, or the mum of the child ran off and left him with the baby and he had to look after it himself or something.
Right.
That's what I thought it was.
Right. I like that you describe him as looking haggard, and that's actually just Nick Cage.
Yeah, well.
Yeah, I mean, what I thought it was going to be was something very similar. I thought it was going to be about a young couple having to suddenly raise a child.
Yeah.
And the mishaps that go along with it. Like, they're suddenly landed with a child out of nowhere. And they are kind of hicks. Like, they don't really...
Yeah.
They're not from a class of society that you would expect to be expecting to raise a child. They, you know, they live in a trailer, which they did in this film. They live in a trailer, and they're suddenly landed with a baby. So, I mean, you know, I wasn't too far off in my thinking of that. This is kind of embarrassing, actually. I went into this film knowing that I hadn't seen it, not realizing it was a Coen Brothers movie until the film started and it started rolling. And I thought it was going to be a very different style of film initially. And then I saw that it was a Coen Brothers movie, and I thought, oh, this is going to be very different to what I thought it was going to be entirely.
I didn't even see that it said Coen Brothers on it.
Well, here's the thing. They're not technically credited as directing this film.
Oh.
They only ever put that they wrote and produced it.
Oh, right.
I mean, they did direct it, but they're just not credited with directing it.
That's weird.
I know, it's strange. So yeah, it's a little bit odd. But then that's the Coen Brothers. That's Joel and Ethan Coen for you. They do things like that.
Are they old now?
I don't know that they're old.
God.
I mean, what would you define as being old?
I don't know. 60s? That's old for filmmaking.
No, they're not. They're not at like Spielberg or anything kind of level of having been directing. I mean, this was 1987, and this
they must
was
have been really young then, because that was like 30 odd years ago.
Yeah.
So they must be nearly 60, surely.
I think so. I think this was relatively early on in their outing as directing, and I think this is also one of the things that kind of started to put Nick Cage on the map.
Oh, great! We've got them
acting.
to thank then.
We got the Coen Brothers to thank for a lot of things as well. As a short aside, before we get too much into the actual talking about the film, as a short aside, I've got a little bit of a story about the Coen Brothers that I thought that you might like. So, I don't know if you know this, but do you remember the Garfield movie that came out?
Well, I remember it, but I never watched it.
Okay, so you know that Bill Murray signed on to be the voice of Garfield.
Oh, no, I don't.
Right? The only reason that Bill Murray signed on to be the voice of Garfield is that when he got the script through, it had Coen Brothers on it, as a Coen Brothers movie, and that was the reason that he signed on to it. Turns out, it's an entirely different set of Coen Brothers. Nothing to do with Joel and Ethan Coen. He thought he was working with Joel and Ethan Coen.
Oh.
And he wasn't. And that was the only reason he signed on to the film. And that's why he drastically regrets having signed on to the film. Just purely by coincidence.
Why couldn't he say, no, I'm not doing it anymore?
He'd already signed the contract.
Why didn't he just say no? Yeah, but come on.
I think it's like, no? It's kind of bad form to sign on.
I mean, it is, but also...
Yeah.
Oh.
Can you imagine that?
So what did it say then? It can't have said the Coen Brothers, because that's really misleading.
I think it said that the script, either the script was written by, or it was being produced by Coen Brothers or a Coen Brothers production or something. But it turns out they had nothing to do with it. It was a different.
Well, we should do his research better then.
Yeah, I think they might have spelled it differently. I think they might have spelled it with an H or something in the middle. I'm not entirely sure.
Research.
Probably.
Terrible.
But I heard that and I thought that was absolutely hilarious.
What an idiot.
It's not often that Bill Murray makes a really bad choice in films, but there we go.
We interrupt this show to bring you a brief word from our sponsors.
Amber, I would like to tell you about Greenbird gift baskets.
Cool,
you're interested?
Interested.
Excellent, I'm glad you said that, because Greenbird Gift Baskets is a small local business based in Southampton offering gourmet gift baskets beautifully hand-wrapped in biodegradable cellophane. They use products from small local businesses wherever they can and are perfect gifts for weddings, birthdays, baby showers, or simply as a thank you.
We are passionate about supporting small local businesses who offer delicious products and share our values on sustainability. There is a selection of baskets available online, Greenbird gift baskets at square.site, and all baskets are totally customisable for dietary needs and tastes.
Greenbird gift baskets offer sweet, savoury and mixed baskets as well as picnic boxes, and prices start from just £25 for a gift basket. Amber, they can even add wine or fizz for an extra special touch.
Collection is available from Southampton, or they can deliver to surrounding areas. So visit Greenbird Gift Baskets at square.site and check them out on Facebook and Instagram at Greenbird Gift Baskets.
Oh, and make sure to tell them that Back to the Revuture sent you, yeah?
And now we return to your regularly scheduled programming.
So, Raising Arizona, what did you make of this film overall? Because I obviously got the impression, like, most of the way into it, that it wasn't your style of humour. Because I was laughing at some points, because I was like, oh, this is actually like a little funnier than I thought it was going to be. It had a little bit more of an air of satire about it, which, you know, I get behind. But obviously it wasn't your kind of thing. But what did you think of the film in general?
I don't know. I really don't know how to describe it or say what I thought about it, because I'm just like, I don't know. It's difficult for me to talk about.
Do you think?
I'm not really sure. I got a bit bored.
Oh, okay.
There we go. I did it. I said it. There you go. I was bored.
and like, what point did it kind of start to lose you?
Oh, I don't know. Quite early.
Oh, wow. Okay.
It was just,
See, I wanted to show you this film because it did get nominated for awards.
Yeah, nominated.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of Coen Brothers films do get nominated for awards. You'd be surprised.
Yeah,
the amount
nominated.
Oh. Yeah, nominated. All right. But yeah, I don't know really what I was expecting from this film. I feel like it was a tight 1 hour 30. You know?
Yeah, like, I don't want to complain about things, because obviously the things that they do are for different reasons, and it's just their style of film. So I don't want to go, oh, this is that and that's, but still, it kind of is part of like the things about them that annoy me. There's just like silly things, like, why would you be crying at work when you're doing your job? Why are you crying? Like, why was she crying? Oh, my fiance left me. Right, yeah, but why are you crying now? Like, save it for later. And then it's like, oh, you're gonna marry him even though all you've done is take his picture 3 times. And the reason why you've taken his picture is because he keeps going back to prison. So why is that somebody that you're gonna get involved with? That's weird. And then, like,
it's
the
just
people
the
that...
premise of this film annoys me.
Yeah, but like...
She's only met him a few times and she knows he's a convicted... Why would she get involved with someone
but she
like
hasn't even met him a few times.
The logistics of this film.
No, but she hasn't even met him a few times. She literally took his picture, said a couple of
Yeah.
words to him, and that was it. And... oh, it's just irritating. I just find it irritating. I've just found that annoying. There's just things like that just like... I know it's kind of silly for silly's sake type thing, and to move the story along, and it's like, why are you questioning that part of the film when you're watching something that's about people stealing a baby or whatever? But I mean, to be honest, I didn't choose to watch the film, so don't say that to me.
Yeah.
But yeah, so
to be
I don't
fair, it
wanna
was
complain.
my choice. This was my mistake.
I
so.
don't want to complain about these types of things, because like I said, it's like everything is on purpose, or it's a choice that they've made. But it still kind of gets on my nerves.
Right.
Like, and why... he was going in to steal the baby, so he picked up all of the babies. Why? Why did he keep picking them all up?
The impression that I got was that he was desperately trying to, like, settle them all
I know, but he
again.
wasn't picking them up and then putting them back down in the bed where they would be comfortable. He was picking them up and then putting them on the floor and stuff. It's like, obviously, if you pick up the child to calm it down and stop it from crying, then you put it on the floor where it doesn't want to be. That's not going to help.
Yeah.
I don't understand that. And that was really getting on my nerves. I was like, why does he keep picking all of them up? And then he didn't. He left without one. He didn't even leave with one.
I did find that scene kind of funny, actually.
That was weird.
It was weird. It was just that he was
And the
trying
parents
to, like...
obviously don't go upstairs and check why all of their children are crying.
Yeah,
Obviously.
I know. And again, this is where the Coen brothers aspect of things, I feel, comes into it, because it's just, like, weird humour, you know? Like, not absurdist.
Yeah, and I don't know
but-
I don't know that we saw whether he opened the window himself to get in or not. But if you go up to check on your kids or babies and the window's open and you didn't open it, you would notice that and you would go and close it, and then you'd see a ladder there and be like, what the heck?
Yeah. Yeah, you were... Yeah, and I mean...
So I don't know what was going on there.
I'm not going to say that they've thought this through very, very well or anything, but,
I mean, they
like,
must have.
obviously
There
it's
must
like...
be. Obviously, it's just
Yeah.
a film, isn't it? You know. But even so, it's like it's those things that just get on my nerves.
So, I've got a couple of bits of trivia, if you want to know whether they're worth the time.
No, I don't.
Oh, okay. Right. But I figured, you know, I'd look through and find some trivia. It's all crap.
Yeah, I know. Why is it always so rubbish?
Well, I don't know why. I mean,
Somebody do something on set, or just do something. So next time we actually have trivia to talk about.
yeah, I don't want to call out IMDb on our podcast.
It's not
and go-
IMDb's fault,
It's just-
though. It's not their fault that nothing happened when they were making this film.
It's just that, you know...
I can't believe that nothing happened when Nicolas Cage was making a film, though. I mean, let's be honest.
Yeah, I mean, you know... According to Ethan Coen, Nicolas Cage was crazy about his Woody Woodpecker haircut, and that it reacted to HI's stress level. The bigger the danger he's in, the bigger the wave in his hair gets. I mean, it's like...
Wow.
Like, I could tell that from
That's
bloody
painful.
looking at the
I
film.
know. What, you mean like when somebody's distressed, their appearance gets worse? Yeah, probably.
Yeah, it's like, okay. I mean, I've got to say, I did, like, his hair in this film
Yeah, it was crazy.
was miraculous.
Do they do things
It was
that
so
are like...
majestic.
Do they do things that are like farce? Is that their thing?
I
I
don't
know it's
that
not really supposed to be
farce.
farce in your face, obvious. But like that, when he
I
was
mean,
running away
yeah.
from the police, and then she was getting in the car, and then she like went too far, and then someone actually was shooting him, and then they were driving, and he was in the road, and
Yeah.
that's a bit like.
I do feel like out of all of the Coen Brothers films that I have seen,
Two.
I've seen a few. I've seen a few others as well. All right, I do feel like this one does fit into the farce that you're talking about the most.
Yeah.
So while I would in general say no, I don't think that they go for that in the films that they're making, I do feel like this one is the closest to that.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Just
yeah.
had like low elements of it.
Yeah. Man, you hit the nail on the head there. Like, you really
No, 'cause
nailed
you
this
You
film.
said no.
No, but I mean, it is, like, you are right in picking that up about this film, and I think this is, like, yeah. And
That's
actually
why
does
I can't
fit.
understand what I can't understand what.
It's probably why
what
I
I was
don't
watching.
immediately... Yeah. It's probably why, in general, I don't immediately associate this with being a Coen Brothers movie.
Yeah, maybe.
Because it doesn't feel like a lot of the rest of their films.
Yeah, I don't really understand what was going on there. I don't understand this film. I don't even understand.
No one told me what the rules are with this film.
I don't even understand the story though.
Yeah, I mean, what's to understand?
I don't know.
I mean, you know, they stole a baby. They feel a little guilty about it, but they still want the baby. His convict friends try to hold it for ransom, while the other guy's getting a bounty hunter to find them. And then they just
yeah, but did he
decide to give it
actually
back.
get a bounty hunter though? That guy just turned up. And where did he turn up from? Like Nicolas Cage had a dream that this guy was going to turn up, and then this guy turned up.
Yeah, that was weird.
I know. This
That
is what
was
I mean.
weird. So, the first time that you see the guy outside of his dream, I'm like, oh, he didn't dream that. He
Yeah.
just, like, his dream, it's just established at that point that he has dreams that are kind of a little bit predictive, but you just saw that happening at the same time as him dreaming. Like, alright, okay,
Right.
fine. Right, I get that. It's just like, yeah, but where did this guy...
Where did the
just
guy come
appear
from? He
from?
literally just appeared out of nowhere.
Yeah, and
That's
it's meant to be this,
weird.
like, weird, hellish bounty hunter that's exaggerating
Because
everything.
he did say, "Oh, I don't know whether it came to me in a dream or whether it was a vision," as if like he
Yeah.
could not see the future, but he was imagining that somebody was going to come along and be like the downfall of his plan or whatever, which is fine. But yeah, it was just weird. He just turned up out of nowhere and started helping. Like the
Yeah.
police. Really weird.
I did find it weird that the first time you see him, he's riding a bike with flames going behind him. I was like, oh, Ghost Rider.
Yeah.
Clearly.
So,
And this is why Nicolas Cage wanted to be Ghost Rider. Obviously.
because of that guy,
Yeah, probably because of this guy.
not because of Ghost Rider.
Well, partly because of Ghost Rider as well. I mean, didn't you know he's got a Ghost Rider tattoo?
Oh yeah, I didn't
Yeah.
know that.
So here's another... Oh, later. Dismiss. See, this is another reason... IMDb, come on, you gotta sort yourselves out. I don't want pop-up
Leave
ads.
them alone.
Well,
Get the app then.
I do have the app.
Oh,
That's what I'm saying. I've got pop-up ads
oh,
coming up.
oh, that's yeah. That's
I
fine.
know. I would rather be using AMDB,
Well, this would have no trivia.
the
on it.
the Amber's movie database.
I'll just make up trivia. Shall I
Yeah.
make? I'll make some trivia up for you if you
Well,
want.
I'll give you another bit, and then you
Oh.
can make up a better one if you want, because I don't know, you might have something to go off of this. The relationship between Nicolas Cage and the Coen brothers was respectful, but turbulent. When he arrived on set and at various other points during production, Cage offered suggestions to the Coen brothers, which they largely ignored.
I like this one actually.
Cage
Oh
said
no.
that Joel and Ethan have very strong vision, and I've learned how difficult it is to accept another artist's vision. They have autocratic nature. Joel replied that he understood why Cage would make that statement.
What does autocratic mean?
I don't know. I don't think that Nick Cage knows.
He must do.
I think that was his word of the day.
He follows Susie Dent on Twitter, and that was what she.
They
put
have an
out that day.
autocratic nature. Saying that it was a lot of fun working with Nick, but that some of his
Oh.
improvisations clashed with their vision and had to be edited.
His improvisation, yeah, because he was probably going, "Baby, baby," like literally all the time, and they were like, "That's not what we want."
Just dial it back a bit, Nick, okay? We're going for subdued nature here,
Yeah.
alright? We're going for subdued comedy. That's what
Yeah.
our whole shtick's gonna be going forward in our entire filmmaking career, is like subdued, subversive
He was
humour.
too crazy.
And he was just a little bit too much. However, the Coens clarified that they would much prefer working with an actor who, like Cage, possessed a fertile imagination over one whose performance needed to be kick-started.
Apparently, autocratic means taking no account of other people's wishes or opinions, domineering, and relating to a ruler who has absolute power. So basically, he was saying that they didn't listen to anyone else's opinions.
I can get that. I can get
Yeah,
that
but
the
he's
Coen
saying
brothers...
that because they didn't like his improvisation. So then it's
Right.
like, well, they don't listen to anyone. No, they just
Yeah.
don't want you and your wild, crazy shouting
Yeah.
in this film that's actually quite, like, subdued in a way. Like, it's mellow because it's like you're supposed to
Yeah.
be... You're supposed to be beaten down by this and, like, trodden down and, like, lost your spirit because of your life. You're not supposed to be het up and shouting and all excited.
Yeah.
It's like...
See, I get the impression from that it is a little bit of a clashing between two different minds.
Yeah, probably.
And like they said, like, they would rather work with someone that they can get a performance out of rather than someone that they've got to, like, you know, drag something out of, you know?
Yes.
So they don't have to, like, prompt him too much in order
Yeah.
to do something.
Mm.
But I also do feel very, very much, and this, I get this sense from every single Coen Brothers film that I watch, particularly evident in things like No Country for Old Men,
Right.
or Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? Maybe even in Big
They've worked
Lebowski.
with some challenging people, haven't they?
I think they've worked with challenging people, but also I get the sense that they go into making a film with a very, very clear picture
Yeah.
of what it is they want, and they go, don't stray from the formula.
Yeah.
That
I get
to
that,
me-
but they then need to just
Yeah.
choose the right people to do it instead of people that are just gonna be him and go off like mad.
Right, exactly, and that's
'Cause
probably why.
I mean, maybe it was because it was like quite early on in his career. They didn't really know what he was doing or what he liked to do. But I mean, now especially, you would know. Oh, if I want things to be low key and regular, and like the vision that I have is straightforward. Don't choose Nicolas Cage to be in it. Like, if you're saying, oh, I don't know where I want this to go quite yet. I want somebody who's got like a over ambitious personality.
Who do we
get
know?
him along.
Who
Fine.
do we know who we can give a script to, and we can just roll the cameras and just leave them rolling and just see what happens?
Yeah, and some people.
Who do we
obviously
know
like that.
Who do I know?
That's why. That is the exact reason why all of his films end up the same, because they let him go off, and his improvisation is to just go like hog wild,
Right.
and shout and get angry. And so that is why every single time he does that, it's always the same. So
Right.
then the outcome in the film, always the same.
See, I really... I so want to sit you down and play The Rock for you, because
Why
I
do
really
you keep
love...
making me watch Nicolas Cage films?
See, but this is the thing. I feel like I've fired the Nicolas Cage flare gun a little too early with this film now, and I'm gonna have to leave it a long while before we revisit any Nicolas Cage film.
Yeah, because I keep having to watch him and it gets on my nerves.
And I felt like if maybe Raising Arizona went down well with you, I'd be like, oh, great, okay, cool, we can watch another Nicolas Cage film.
He wasn't that bad in this film. I understand. He was, because they were reining him in the entire time. So he wasn't that bad, but I do not have the power to sit through him and his crazy, irritating acting.
I feel like it is vital for science reasons to watch The Rock.
I had to watch
eventually.
Face Off, and
You
he was
did.
supposed to be
You did.
playing John
Yeah.
Travolta's character
Yeah.
in the way that John Travolta would have played him. And I've never seen John Travolta go bug-eyed, raise his voice when it's not needed,
Yeah.
veins pop in, shouting for no reason. I've never seen him do that, and that is all Nicolas Cage did in that film. He didn't do it right. He just did whatever he wanted to do.
Yeah.
Poor John Travolta had to then sit there and go, oh yeah, we both tried really hard to capture each other's personalities and all this sort of stuff and style. I was like, no, he didn't. You did, yes. And he then had to just go and say, oh yeah, he captured me really well. He did really well. Knowing full well that he didn't. He probably sat and watched that and went, when have I ever done that?
Contrary, though, I do feel like John Travolta did a really good Nicolas Cage impression.
He did the best,
Yeah.
because obviously, yeah.
Yeah, right. So, I feel like I've slipped up here, really, and I've
I don't
screwed
know why,
myself.
because I've said so many times, I've even said on here a lot of times, he gets on my nerves and I can't stand his acting like that. I've said it so many times. So why do you keep making me watch Nicolas Cage films and then sit here and go, oh, I made a mistake there? Yeah, it wasn't. Why though? Because I told you ages ago. I've told you so many times.
Well, no, I mean, I feel like I've screwed myself out of being able to watch The Rock anytime soon, is what I'm getting at.
Why? What do you mean?
Because The Rock is a...
Well, do you watch it regularly? That's gonna really mess up your schedule.
I mean, yeah, I have to have my biannual watching of The Rock.
Biannual.
I've got to watch it every so often, top myself back off. But I feel like with The Rock, Sean Connery, the performance of Sean Connery cancels out Nicolas Cage, and it just makes
know.
it, it makes it more watchable. I don't know. Well, I mean, both of them are watchable for me personally. I'm like Nicolas Cage and Sean
Yeah, because
Connery.
you think it's hilarious.
I think it's great. But I've obviously screwed myself out of being able to watch it with you for the purposes of the podcast anytime soon. So it was a gamble. It was a gamble with this film.
Maybe you should have done that before instead of this then.
Well, here's the thing. I thought this one would pay off better because it's a tight 1.5 hours.
Yeah.
And The Rock is around 2.25. So I felt I felt like I would have lost you a lot sooner with that, just on the premise of it being a longer film.
Yeah, I don't know.
So what
lost
trivia
me,
did you have?
I don't have any trivia.
You said you were going to make some trivia.
Oh, I forgot.
Oh, okay. All right,
I forgot that I said that.
It's alright, I can cut all of this silence.
No, don't leave it in.
Oh, okay. It's all thinking here.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I've got a good trivia.
Oh, okay, right.
Do you remember when he was in the shop, in the convenience store, like
I
gas
remember that
station?
scene.
That's what it's called.
Yeah.
He was in the gas station buying stealing nappies,
Yeah, I remember.
and he put tights on his head.
Mm-hmm.
Those tights used to belong to Bette Davis.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, see, that's interesting.
I know, that is interesting, isn't it?
Wow. Imagine being able to dig out those tights that belong to Betty Davis.
No, he had them already.
Oh, so he stole them off of...
That was one
Like-
idea that he said, "Can I use these?" And they were like, "Actually, yeah, that's fine, yeah."
Oh, okay. Okay. This is the kind of trivia that makes it onto Amber's movie database.
Yeah.
You know,
Because
this
this
is
is actually
of,
interesting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's cool. That's cool. That's a cool thing to know.
Yeah, I know. And did you know that... Okay,
I'm liking
fun
this
fact.
humour already.
No, no.
This trivia
This
already.
is just for me.
Okay, all right. Fun fact.
Fun fact: the baby actually grew up to be Steven Baldwin.
I'd believe that for some reason.
Yeah, because all the rest of them are the Baldwin brothers.
Well, apparently there were like 15 babies
No.
that they had.
There's 5
For,
Baldwin brothers.
Yeah, well, this is what I'm saying. Yeah. So I believe
So
more likely.
where has 15 come from?
Well, all right, yeah, okay, all right. Okay. I see what you're going for here. I'll play along with it. Okay. Yeah, all of the babies were the Baldwin brothers.
He grows up to be Steven Baldwin. Yeah.
Wow,
I know.
they grew up quick.
What?
They grew up quick. This is
Oh.
1987.
Oh yeah. No, wait.
So they grew up
'cause,
pretty
like,
quick.
When Viva Rock Vegas came out, he was probably
I
like.
love that our timeline is always measured by when Viva Rock Vegas came
No,
out.
it's because Stephen Baldwin's
crap.
in that film.
Yeah, I know.
So I was thinking when that came out, how old would he have been in relation to this 1987 thing? 1987. When?
Yeah.
I don't even know when Viva Rock Vegas came out. Early
Really?
2000s.
Wow. I mean, that surprises me.
I don't know.
The one thing that you don't know about the film.
I don't really know anything about the film. I just
Ah.
watched it.
Wow.
It's got to be like early 2000s. I'm gonna say like 2002 or something.
Probably.
So, how old?
You probably do know this, really. You just don't
no, I
know
actually
that you
don't.
know this.
No, I actually don't.
So, I mean, yeah, it's how old I would have
How
been.
old would it have been? 12?
How old would I have been in 2002?
13 or something.
15.
15.
Great, wow.
He would have been 15.
Good show.
Yeah, he didn't look 15.
I like
He didn't really look 15 in that film.
No, I don't think we can legitimately buy that. This is one bit of trivia that Amber's movie database has fallen short on. I'm
No, we
afraid.
can still say it.
Oh, we'll still say it.
No one's going to question that, are they?
Yeah.
No one's going to remember who's in.
I mean, this is
Viva
the
Rock
thing. If you tell someone a fact quick enough that sounds legit and then just walk away,
Yeah.
you're not around for the thought process afterwards. Go, hang on, that doesn't make sense.
Oh,
Wait a
maybe I
minute.
should think of somebody a little bit younger then.
That child grew up to be
I
Taylor
still
Lautner.
like the idea.
Ugh.
I still like the idea that was a baby though, that grew up to be somebody famous.
Yeah. I mean, that would be cool. I like the whole fact that this film started, like the timeline of this film started the day after I was born.
Yeah, that's funny. So
Yeah.
so those babies are pretty much, well, no, because they must have been like one at least. They would have been a year old in the film.
Well,
Because they were said toddler. They had all their teeth.
Yeah, they did have all their teeth, but they weren't like walking or anything. But I don't know. But I mean, obviously, I thought it was kind of funny that it said Wednesday, 12th of April.
Yeah,
and it
that
was
is weird.
1987. I was like, I was born like the day before.
So were you
this
born
film.
on a Tuesday?
I guess.
Oh, you didn't even know.
I guess. I mean, it
That
must have
film
been.
might not have said that it was being actually in 1987 though.
That's true.
Look up your
That's true.
birthday and see if it was
Oh,
a Tuesday. And if
what
it
am I
was a
going to do?
Tuesday,
Dig
then
out a
that-
calendar? I mean, it's not like I walk around with a calendar
Literally.
in my pocket, Amber. I mean, literally I do, don't I?
Literally Google.
There we go. Apparently it was a Saturday.
Oh, okay. So it wasn't.
God,
1987
Joel and Ethan Coen, pull your finger out.
then. So they were way off.
At least get it right.
So this was years before 1987.
God.
So it took them ages to tell this story, didn't it?
Probably, yeah.
So he wasn't actually born in 1987 then. This baby was born so say he was a year old anyway. Could have been like 6 or something. So Steven Baldwin would have been like 20 when Viva Rock Vegas came out. Yeah, that's fine.
It sounds legit. It sounds legit enough.
Yeah, that's fine.
We'll go with that. It sounds like it's legit. But this is what I'm saying. Like, if you tell someone a fact and then just walk away quick enough.
Yeah, because if I'd actually said, "Have you seen Raising Arizona?" and you went, "Yeah, I have actually." Oh yeah, you know that baby? He grew up to be Steven Baldwin. That's crazy, isn't it? And you would have gone, "Yeah, that is crazy."
That's mental. Yeah.
Wait.
And by that point, by the point that I get that, hang on, wait a second.
Yeah, I would have gone on to
You're
something
already
else.
out the room.
I'm talking
You're already
about
gone.
something else,
Yeah,
anyway.
you're already talking about something else.
I think that could be right. I think we should start that rumour now.
This is just how we start spreading misinformation.
Although we say to people, "Oh, have you seen Raising Arizona?" No. Oh yeah.
Oh,
Me
okay,
either.
all right then. All right. Just pretend we haven't seen it.
No, that's what the other people would be saying because nobody else has seen it.
Yeah. So I mean that basically the crux of me showing you this film came down to, well, you know, it's pretty well regarded as being a good film.
I'm not
and
saying
got
it was a bad
nominated
film,
for
obviously.
things.
People like it, I suppose. I just didn't really like it. It wasn't a
Yeah.
bad film. There was nothing actually bad or wrong with it. I just didn't really like. It just didn't really click with me. Like,
No, not your kind of humour.
well, I don't know about that. It's just not. It just wasn't really my.
Where,
I don't know.
Where would you rate this in relation to The Big Lebowski?
Yeah, I didn't really like that either.
Did you not?
No, I didn't find that funny really either.
Okay.
So probably about the same.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. I definitely like Big Lebowski more.
Yeah, I still didn't really laugh. I don't really laugh at that. I don't know.
I find Big Lebowski very funny. I feel like the cult following that Big Lebowski has.
Yeah, this didn't really get that, did it?
No, not really at all. But
I suppose because like the characters weren't really there. These were just regular people.
yeah,
Didn't have like one character that you could kind of
relate
latch
to.
on and be like, oh, look at this guy, he's a slob, but he's just going through life cool and relaxed. You know, like
Yeah,
there wasn't anything that you could, really like.
yeah.
It's just regular people. I don't know.
And it was definitely a lot more subdued Nick Cage, you know.
Mm.
Not his later years Nick Cage.
No.
So how long do I need to leave it before we can do The
Oh,
Rock?
years.
Oh, great. Okay, screwed
2
myself out
years
of that
at
one.
least.
Well, I'll tell you what, maybe some interaction might convince you, I don't know. If we get some people interacting using our hashtag BTTRpod
No.
and saying, you know, The Rock yes or The Rock no,
No.
maybe we'll total that up. Maybe it might swing
I'm
the
just
vote.
going to make loads of fake accounts and just put The Rock no over and over again.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe you can also be the person that makes the deciding vote on the official, unofficial Lizzie McGuire podcast
I
as
already
well.
made my vote. It's a yes.
Okay. Well, I have also had a brief thought following on from our previous episode as well about the merch.
Yeah.
Our merch plan, alright?
Yeah.
So, at the moment, we've got 3 different ways of interacting with the show, alright? Using the hashtag BTTRpod, okay? So we've got The Rock yes or The Rock no, if you think it's a good or bad idea, respectively, to show Amber The Rock, and if you want us to watch that. We've also got merch yes or merch no, as to whether you would buy a t-shirt that said, I would rather be watching.
Why didn't you call it merchandise or merchant no dice?
Oh, man. Because I didn't think of that, okay? Because I'm not clever like you, alright? Is that what you want to hear?
No.
I'm not, because I'm not smart like that. Because I didn't think of it. So, I did think of this, though.
Yeah.
You know the t-shirts that you get sometimes that have the sticker on it that says, hello, my name is blank.
Yeah.
Maybe you should have one that has that sticker on it that says, hello, I would rather be watching. And it's just a blank space on the sticker underneath
Oh,
it.
and
You
they
can literally
write
write on it.
themselves. That's
Yeah.
funny.
So you can literally write in Sharpie whatever you would rather be watching.
It's definitely
It's
not.
such a simple idea. But
Yeah,
then
it is a
on
simple-
on the back of the t-shirt, in really small print, right at the bottom, we do still have Steven Baldwin has a Hannah Montana tattoo
Yeah.
written on it.
Yeah.
That's the unique selling point of
Why
the
do we
t-shirt.
always end up talking about Steven Baldwin so much?
Because you bring up Viva Rock Vegas.
Oh.
And we also have Lizzie McGuire yes and Lizzie McGuire no. If you
Yeah.
would like to hear the official unofficial Lizzie McGuire podcast, where we do running commentary episode by episode of every episode of Lizzie McGuire. And then after Lizzie McGuire's done, because I'm trying to think of what we would do for our 100th podcast of that, right?
Of that?
Because there aren't 100 episodes of Lizzie McGuire.
How many episodes are there?
I don't know, there's like 60, 70. I don't know.
No, I don't believe it.
But then after Lizzie McGuire,
Oh, we do the movie.
we do the movie, right? Sure, yeah, absolutely. But then after we cover all of Lizzie McGuire, I reckon we go on to do That's So Raven.
Oh, that is long.
Worth it though.
Hannah Montana's better.
Worth it. Well, okay. I mean, we could do. I mean, it would be a toss-up between which we do next after
No, I
that.
think if you did Liz McGuire, you'd just have to stop after that.
Really? Okay. All right. It's a limited run podcast.
Yeah, it is.
The ending is
'Cause
in
it's just-
sight
it's
when you
just
do
one,
that.
You know?
The ending is in sight. But that was a little bit of an idea that I had. What do you think of that for the merch?
Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
Ah.
Yeah, because then you can write whatever you want. People would say rude stuff, though, wouldn't
Well, probably. Provided that it's family friendly, let us know what you would put on that t-shirt. And, you know, maybe if we get it going, people need to, like,
they? Why not just say Spider-Man 2 the whole time?
Yeah, it's always going to
Easy for
say
me.
Spider-Man 2. Spider-Man 2 all the time. Maybe what we should get people to do is find these stickers that say, hello, my name
Yeah.
is, but cross out my name is and put, I would rather be watching, and then put what film they would watch, and we'd see
Yeah.
how much of a call there is for them to be t-shirts as well. But that was just a thought that I had. One of my wild pontifications.
Were you in the shower?
I was in the shower. I actually was. That's no word of a lie. I'm not just saying that to generate
No.
content. If I wanted to generate content, I'd pass out.
Okay.
Alright? I'm not just saying that to generate content. I actually did think of that in the shower.
Yeah.
That's where I do come up with my best thoughts, actually. I have my wild thoughts in the shower. You know, like, isn't Nicolas Cage great?
Oh.
That's one of my wild shower thoughts
Stop.
I have. Like, isn't Nicolas Cage a talented actor?
I'm not saying he's not a talented actor, but I'm just saying he just does the same thing every time.
This has
I'm not
made
saying
me...
he's not good at it.
No. He's great at being Nicolas Cage.
Yeah,
No
he
one
is.
else.
He
I
is.
think it is a very fair statement to say that no one else on the planet can do what Nicolas Cage does.
Well, John Travolta did it once.
Once.
But yeah, you're right. No one else can get away with his tomfoolery.
No one else can pull off what Nicolas Cage does and at least still get work.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Like, you put one crazy person in your film, they turn out to be Ezra Miller, right? But you put Nicolas Cage in a film, that's a tolerable level of crazy.
Yeah, because
Alright.
he's not hurting anyone.
Yeah. This has now made me want to watch The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent
You
even
wanted to
more.
watch that anyway. Yeah, I was gonna say.
It's made me want to watch that even more. But yeah. So I think we should maybe start to think about giving this film a rating. So, as we do every episode, the person that hasn't seen the film gets to give the film a rating. But every episode, what the rating is out of changes. So, do you want to go first? Because neither of us have seen this.
I don't even know what I'm going to give this film. Sorry, but I don't.
What are you going to give this film? What's it going to be
it's
out of?
It's difficult because I know that it's not a bad film, and it isn't.
No.
So I don't want to say, oh, rubbish, one, you know. So I know that it wasn't a bad film, but I just didn't really like it all that much for whatever reason. I don't know why.
Yeah.
So I don't want to be harsh, but maybe like 2.5, because that's like halfway.
Right, you're on the fence on it.
So I don't want to say that like it's a bad film, but I just didn't like it.
You're not sold either way on it.
No.
Okay, what's it going to be out of? I can just see the little buffering logo going in your mind now.
I don't know. That wasn't anything that they did, was it?
Well,
It wasn't anything like that.
Well, I'll tell you what. Shall I give my rating?
Yeah.
And then that might prompt you with something. Okay, so I'm going to give it 3. Because I do feel kind of similar to you. I feel like there wasn't anything bad about this. It wasn't a bad film. I did enjoy it. It's not my favourite Coen Brothers movie. Like, they have done other films that I have enjoyed a lot more. And they have done other films that have gone on and actually won awards. You know, so I feel like this isn't that far up on the Coen Brothers level, as it were. But it's still, like I said, it's not a bad film. There's some things that I liked about this film. I enjoyed it. I wouldn't, like I said earlier, I wouldn't stick this film on if I was immediately like, oh, I feel like having a laugh watching a funny film. This is not a film that would immediately come to mind.
No.
So I'm going to give it 3. I'm going to give it 3 Huggies. Because they were clearly sponsored by Huggies.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Okay. Well, I don't know. This film has just uninspired me for everything.
Oh. Oh,
I don't
dear.
know. I don't know.
Oh, dear. It's uninspired you.
Yeah, I'm really not sure. It's not giving me any... I don't even think I understand the point of it.
I mean, this is the thing about a lot of Coen Brothers films.
I mean, what even happened at the end? Like, what? So, I mean, we all knew that they couldn't get away with taking a child that was already a certain age, that everybody knew what it looked like because there was 5 of them.
Yeah.
Like, you look at the other 4, and then you look at theirs, and it's kind of like, obviously that's from the same family and this one's been missing. So, like, they couldn't get away with that for so long.
No.
So what then? Like, why? What's
it's like what's the outcome of this film going to be? So there is only really like a couple of outcomes it could be.
I'll just give it 2.5 Bette Midler tights.
Bette Midler tights.
It was actually Betty Davis that I said first of all.
Yeah, I was gonna say, if it was Bette Midler, that's a different relationship altogether that she has with tights there. But yeah, okay, cool.
And that wasn't even in the film.
No, it wasn't. That was made up.
2.5 Steven Baldwins.
No, always comes back to Steven Baldwin, doesn't it? How strange. Strange that he makes his way back into every podcast episode we do.
Just like Nicolas Cage. Funny that, isn't it?
Ah, funny. How weird. So there you have it. Raising Arizona gets 2.5 tights from Amber and 3 Huggies from me. But what do you all out there listening think? Have you seen Raising Arizona, or is this something that's only really been talked about in your film studies classes as being a Coen Brothers classic, if you do indeed go to those classes? Do you think that this is a classic? Do you think that this is one of the Coen Brothers' better movies, or is it not that high up? Do you prefer other Coen Brothers movies? Interact with the show and let us know what you think of these, as well as whether you think that showing Amber The Rock would be, and that is not a euphemism,
No.
by the way. That is not a euphemism. Don't go away thinking anything naughty from that statement. I literally mean the film The Rock, okay? This is not a smut cast, okay? Keep your minds out of the gutter, you lot. So do you think that showing Amber The Rock would be a good idea? Maybe change her opinion on Nicolas Cage a little bit by blending a little bit of Sean Connery? Use hashtag The Rock yes or hashtag The Rock no? Are you interested in any merch that we might have, or have any merch ideas that we could use for the show? Hashtag merch yes, hashtag merch no. You could also be the deciding vote on whether we go for the official, unofficial Lizzie McGuire podcast. All it takes is one when we count it up with Lizzie McGuire yes or Lizzie McGuire no. And I am going to cap the amount of hashtags we have going at the same time at 3. I'm not going to come up with another hashtag to use next week. I promise you. All of these and more can be communicated to us via our social medias. I am at Drew Bridger.
At Amberin.
And make sure to use the hashtag BTTRpod so that we can see all of these opinions and any suggestions that you might have and know when we are being talked about on the internet. Amber, if the listeners have enjoyed this episode more than you've enjoyed Raising Arizona, hopefully, what else should they do?
Like, subscribe, and review on your podcast service, and rate 5 stars. Also, follow at BTTR Podcast on Instagram.
Instagram and stars is what we're after, because if you want to leave us some good feedback and give us a good rating on your podcast service, then please do give us that full, big, fat, tasty 5-star rating if you've enjoyed this. Tell some of your friends as well, or just download it onto their phone without them knowing and have it be a little bit of a surprise. But until that next episode, when Amber, I don't know if you know this, but to build up for next episode, I do want to get you a little bit excited. Next episode is going to be our 2-year podcast anniversary.
Oh.
Yes, can you believe that you've put up with me for 2 years
No.
doing this podcast? Oh, okay, good. So that can only mean one thing, and rather than doing a humorous send-off, I'm going to do a little tease
Oh, okay.
for our next episode, because with it being a 2-year podiversary, that can only mean one thing.
What?
Da 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 da.
KFC.
Oh god, oh that's wow. I didn't realise we were doing it with a sponsorship now.
KF seasoning.